Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and we now have the update details, the patch notes for the Disney Plus Falcon and the Winter Soldier update. A quick overview: we're getting 3 new uniforms for Falcon, Winter Soldier, and Zemo. We're getting the Taskmaster Tier 3 and the Falcon Tier 3, and then we're getting the Yelena Awakening / Transcendence, and then we're getting some quality of life changes and improvements for ISO 8 and Uru Amplification, a way for, if you don't have some of the more original Tier 3s, a way to get a free Tier 3, I should have led with that, and a bunch of other changes and fixes. The only thing sort of missing from this, at least for now, is something for Baron Zemo, but we'll talk about that later. Anyways, let's jump right into the patch notes. Now, keep in mind, these are just what is said on paper. We still don't know which skills are iframes and which skills are not iframes. You still can't really tell how much damage these characters are going to do. These are just the numbers, right? The numbers, Mason. What do they mean? So yeah, all these uniforms are going to be on sale for 40% off. They're all, standard, straightforward uniforms for Falcon, Winter Soldier, and Zemo. They're all speed type. They all remain either hero or, in Zemo's case, villain. So no surprises there, no twists, no turns. For Falcon, he's going to get chain hit and skill damage, bonus damage on his uniform, which is huge. He's also getting a new leadership, 15% dodge, not very good, but it's definitely better than what does he have now? I don't even know. Let's take a look. 6% dodge. So they're basically tripling his dodge on his lead. It's nothing great, but it's definitely better than what he had before. He's going to get 30% guaranteed dodge, which is very good for his survivability. He's going to get a heal plus a buff plus remove debuffs, which will have benefits for both PvE and PvP. He's got some regular skills. He's got a skill here with all defense down, incapacitation, invincibility, and a double damage proc. So this is a 50% damage proc for the next 2 attacks. So that is quite interesting. He then also has a 60% dodge rate buff, so he could synergize with a rage. It's only 3 seconds though, so we have to see if that number goes up. He also has penetration here, and then he's got 70% ignore dodge for 8 seconds on his 5th skill, which is very, very nice for ABX Paralyzed Season, World Boss Ultimate Corvus and Quicksilver, and World Boss Legend Null. And then he's got a very nice 40-35 Frenzy buff. So yeah, all around a very strong, very solid rework for Falcon, but the Tier 3 skill, I think, is where things get very, very spicy for Falcon. For Winter Soldier, things are a little bit different. He does get 15% chain hit instead of 10, which is nice, but we got to see how these skills synergize, how you can, accumulate those chain hits. He's then going to get a different Cybernetic Punch passive. It honestly looks the same now, but I guess it's different. I don't know. His all-out assault passive seems very similar to what it was before, which I'm not too excited about. The skill damage, bonus damage that he gets now, I think will not overlap with Taskmaster's passive. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of that because you want to pair them together, and it's an 8-second buff on the skill damage, bonus damage with a 10-second cooldown. So I'm not too sure about this passive here. I think they could have gone with something different, but we'll see what happens. You got to see how it plays out in game. His first 2 skills are pretty straightforward. He has a 10% all attack buff for 10 seconds, which is not bad. His soldier counter is pretty wild. He gets an accumulation based on damage dealt, not damage received. So it's kind of like Silver Surfer's counter skill, but it's with better accumulation. And then he's got, the incapacitation and the regular sort of things here. So yeah, there's no, there's 5 seconds of immunity. Okay, it's kind of tucked in there in the middle. But yeah, it seems like a pretty interesting skill. Can have value for PvE, mostly has value for PvP, however. Not mostly, well, maybe like 60%. He's got bleed with all defense down, and then and invincibility. So he's got invincibility and immunity. And then he's got a frenzy buff with chance to miss, incapacitation, and burn. So a little bit less for Winter Soldier than Falcon I'm seeing here for now. They also added iframe ignore to his Tier 3 skills. So that is something to mention, but no healing and no other changes, no buffed leadership. So we'll have to see. I'm a little bit lukewarm on Winter Soldier right now based on the patch note effects. And then Zemo, he's getting a pretty hilarious 5% all attack increase on his uniform. I don't know if they were worried that he'd be too strong. His leadership is getting a pretty cranked buff. Instead of 50% all attack to villains, it's 60 plus 35% ignore dodge. That is crazy good for squad battle and ABX. And hopefully, fingers crossed, if Zemo's getting a Transcendence or a Tier 3 in the mid-month, this leadership will be insanely good for DRX, World Boss Legend, and other endgame content. But right now, we're sort of like the kids, you know, staring through the glass, wondering like when we can use this leadership in really, you know, difficult, challenging content. He's getting a change. I don't think it's a change to his tier 2 passive, his Bloodblade passive. It's still bleed damage, which is still bad, so I'm not really sure. Maybe this will be good for PvP. I don't know. We'll see. It's interesting though. I say PvP because his second skill gives him ignore targeting, and it's a 14-second cooldown, which means every 7 seconds he can trigger this skill. And not only does it have ignore targeting, it's got stun, silence, incapacitation, 3 seconds of full penetration, super armor, barrier, shield, immune, invincibility. So it pierces everything for 3 seconds. And then it also gives him a frenzy buff and 6 seconds of immunity. This is a pretty crazy skill for PvP. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's interesting. He also gets paralysis, so he has the trifecta of silence, paralysis, and burn. I believe if one of his other skills does burn. Yeah, I think his second skill, which is not listed here, does do burn. Yeah, he throws grenades and deals burns. So he has the trifecta for ABX. Maybe he'll be a good, you know, character on his own. He's got all defense down, -45 twice. It's nice to see the synergy here so that they don't conflict with each other. I really appreciate that. And then he's got super armor on his 5th skill, which is good because it'll help him in PvE content to not get guard broken as much. So could be a pretty, you know, could be a pretty transcending uniform for Baron Zemo. The way that I would rank them, I guess, would probably be like Falcon, and then maybe Zemo, and then maybe Winter Soldier. But again, these are just the patch notes. These are just the words here. We have to see how it plays out in game. We got 5 new characters getting their potential. These are just regular run-of-the-mill characters. They all need reworks, so I wouldn't jump to upgrade any of these characters unless you love them. You're going for rank 1, etc. Here's where things get interesting. Falcon's tier 3 skill. Check this out. Hero's Rise. He gets bind, paralysis, all defense down. Sure, that's not that interesting. 10 seconds of invincibility. Sure. 10 seconds of increased damage dealt to supervillains by 70%. Va-va-voom! Yeah, he gets 70% increased damage to villains for 10 seconds. That's really good. That's going to spike his damage on the tier 3 and for like 5 seconds, 6 seconds afterwards. Really nice. On top of that, he gets accumulation on the tier 3. So basically, Falcon's damage when he pops the tier 3 is going to go ham sandwich. He's going to go the whole buffet. His damage is going to go bonkers. I should have led with bonkers. And then Taskmaster's tier 3, pretty interesting. Stun, paralysis, all defense down, 80% chance to penetrate, remove debuffs, and then immunity. So yeah, nothing too spicy here from Taskmaster, but he does have some other buffs. So we're going to have to wait and see. And his tier 3 animation is actually the one we saw in the video where he sort of cranes his head to the side as he looks at you. It's pretty creepy, to be honest with you. But yeah, the other thing to note is that Falcon doesn't have penetration here. I don't think he has any penetration, actually. So it'll be interesting to see, even though he does have some PvP vibes, I don't think he's going to be used for PvP at all. With no penetration on any skills, it's going to be tough for him to do much. And then we have Yelena's Awakening skill. It's pretty run-of-the-mill. It's, you know, a lot of Awakening skills have, you know, 2 elemental, sort of like elemental dot effects, and then paralysis, you know, and then crit rate, crit damage buffs. The interesting thing for her Awakening skill is she gets a heal. She gets a 15% heal for 2 seconds, and Yelena's white uniform, the snow uniform, is getting another buff on her first skill. So this should be very interesting. Her Awakening skill is different than Red Guardians, which we thought it was going to be the same because Yelena is in Red Guardians Awakening, but it's not the same. It's just her and Black Widow. It looks dope. It looks actually so dope. And then they just walk away from the explosion like badasses. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. Yelena looks amazing personally. And then we get to the new content. So this is where things get really spicy. You know the guided quests and how amazing they are for getting free tier 2 characters and free 50% off uniforms? Well, they're basically taking this idea and they're taking it to the next level. You can now do a tier 3 guided quest. So if you don't have the hero, so basically when you start the quest, if you don't already have the hero ready to go to tier 3, i.e. 6 stars tier 2, then they will give you the hero for free at tier 2, 6 stars. Yeah. really nice, really nice. So here's how it works. There's 2 stages of characters. The default characters are the ones that you can choose no matter what. So you got Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, Spider-Man, Vision, Ant-Man. To be honest with you, the only character I would consider doing this on from these 6 here would be Vision. The second place one would probably be Black Widow. Actually, you know what? Iron Man's pretty good with his newest uniform. I would say Vision first, then Iron Man, then Black Widow. So you actually have 3 good options here. Cap, Spider-Man, and Ant-Man have kind of fallen behind at this point, but if you buy the Character Plus package, and I know it's only 2,500 crystals, so it's the same price as a Legendary Battle. But if you buy the Character Plus package, you get access to one of these 6 characters. I'm explaining this now ahead of time because in case you were about to tier 2 one of these characters here, I would say stop, because you can just get them tier 2 for free, baby. So anyways, you get these characters tier 2, or you have them tier 2, and then you start the guided quest to get them to tier 3 for free. And then from there are 2 purchases you can make to sort of improve the value of this guided quest. So you can do the regular guided quest for one of these 6 characters in the top row completely for free. You don't have to spend any crystals at all. So you can get a free tier 3 Vision, which is crazy good. If you want to spend more and you want to get access to some stronger characters and you want to get access to some more items, you can pay with crystals, not with real money, with crystals. So if you do the Character Plus, you get access to one of these characters and then you get some extra materials. The extra materials are not bad, but really for 2,500 crystals, the really good thing is you can get a tier 3 Carnage, because otherwise it's really hard to get Carnage. So yeah, something to consider. If you're a PvP fanatic, you can get a tier 3 Hulk. Again, these characters are not hard to get to tier 2, but really it's the fact that you get to tier 3 them for free, right? So really good stuff. And then if you want to spend even more crystals to get even more rewards, check this out. For 5,750 crystals, you can get the Special Plus quest. And I'm not sure if you have to purchase this one in order to purchase this one. But anyways, so they break it down here. If you buy the 2,500 crystal one, you can add, these additional characters can add it to be chosen from the quest. But I think you can only choose one character, so keep that in mind. And then you get these rewards. The crazy thing is, if you get the Special Plus pack, which is 5,750, you still get these options, but you also get a tier 3 selector on top of that immediately. So you get 2 tier 3s. So for like 8,000 crystals, you get 2 tier 3s. That's 4,000 crystals per tier 3. That's crazy value, especially considering that you can use this tier 3 selector on characters that are not even on this list. Unless, oh, you know what? No, that's not true. It says effect, acquire tier 3 selector, available characters. So this is going to be a special. Oh, you got to be a little bit careful. Sorry, I misspoke. This is not a regular tier 3 selector. We got one of these for the 6-year and 5-year anniversary. Characters like Winter Soldier, Cyclops are on that. This is a special tier 3 selector where you can only choose from these characters, but still, you could get Vision for free. You could purchase the, can you get 3? Can you purchase the Character Plus package and then choose, let's say, Hulk, and then use this tier 3 selector and choose Carnage? I don't know. They're going to have to be a little bit more transparent with this, but yeah, it looks like you can get 2 or 3 tier 3s for this price. And the thing is, with this 5,000 crystal investment, you get back. You don't just get the tier 3 and the tier 3 selector. You get back 1,500 crystals, which is nice. You get 8 million gold. You get 200 CCF. You get 500 of these. You get 3 Titan record selectors. So this is a really cool way, and in my opinion, a pretty inexpensive way, right? Because if you save up a Stark stash for 2 months, right there, that's the cost. So $10 over 2 months, and you get 2 tier 3s and a bunch of other rewards. This is really good stuff. And again, if you don't want to spend any crystals, that's totally fine. You still get a free tier 3 if you haven't tier 3'd all of these characters. So yeah, really cool stuff. Even if you choose, let's say, like Spider-Man or Captain America or Ant-Man, Spider-Man's not a bad choice at all if you want to go free for this with this tier 3 guided quest, because we know he's going to get a rework for Far From No Way Home, which is coming out in 6 months. And then Captain America's bound to get a uniform sometime. Ant-Man's probably the only one I would stay away from because Quantumania is still a while away, but still, you have 5 good choices, in my opinion, for free. So really cool stuff. Anyways, moving on to the rest of the patch notes. The ISO 8 set change convenience improvements. This is really good. This is basically just a quality of life change for the ISO 8 sets. It's going to show you which set is the most popular for a hero, so you can get some more idea from sort of crowdsourced information. What are other players using for Spider-Man? What are other players using for Mephisto? What are other players using for, you know, Silver Surfer? And then you can select which bonus, like which ISO 8 set you want when you're re-rolling. So rather than re-rolling, the way that it works now, right, we have to re-roll and we have to just look. You have to just look and see, did I get the ISO set that I wanted? And if not, you just keep re-rolling. Now, it's sort of like a set it and forget it type of thing, right? You set the ISO 8 and you can choose, the really cool thing is you can choose multiple sets. So if you're not specifically looking for just Power of Angry Hulk, if you're saying, okay, I'm fine with Hawk's Eye, Power of Angry Hulk, or Overdrive, you can select all three and hit roll, and it will just start rolling, and it'll stop when it gets to one of those three, any one of those three. So this is a really huge quality of life change. Hopefully it's going to be a little bit faster rolling, because right now one of the problems is time. It just takes a long time to re-roll, especially if you get unlucky. But I think this is a really good change. It's unfortunate that we didn't see other ISO 8 set changes, like getting rid of the 3-star set, getting rid of the 3 set bonuses or the 4 set bonuses, or adding new bonuses or whatever. But I think this is a really good start to some ISO 8 changes, so it's nice. Another change they're doing is for Uru Amplification. They're doing 2 quality of life changes. The first quality of life change is that when you do Uru Amplification, you will never go down anymore when you amplify. You will never go down in slots. So basically what I'm saying is right now, and again, don't change ISO 8 sets before the update because of this. Don't amplify your Uru before the update because of this. But basically, the way that it works now, if I go over to this set here and I want to get 5 stars, right? If I amplify here, I went down from 4 amplified to 1 amplified. Now I went from 1 to 1. I went from 1 to 1. I went from 1 to 3. And then I went from 3 back down to 1. So you can see I can go up or down in amplification, in the number of amplified slots. That's not going to happen anymore. Now it will never apply a lower amplification. So if the number of amplified slots decreases through Uru Amplification, the former amplification stats will be applied. So it says the number of amplified slots is fewer than the existing. Amplification unchanged. So this is a really good change, because it basically means once you hit 4 amplifications on a character gear, it will never drop below that if you try to re-roll for 5. This is a really, really good change. It's small, but it is really good. The second change for Uru Amplification is that you can now just auto repeat endlessly until you hit 5 slots. Again, this is for players that have more gold. This is for players who have, you know, resources to spend en masse. But yeah, instead of having to sit there and clicking the button every 10 times, you now get the option to just set it and forget it and come back in whatever, 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, when it's done re-rolling and it's hit all 5 amplified. So this is a really good quality of life change. Another change is they're adding a bunch of free rewards to the Black Widow Legendary Battle. So bonus missions are being added. So this is really cool. The normal mode is getting all these bonus missions. So again, even if you didn't pay crystals to buy the Legendary Battle, you can get all these rewards for free. It's not, you know, mind-blowing. It's not 6-year anniversary rewards, but you got some level 5 Uni XP chips. You got over $1 million. You got $1.5 million gold, 30 hidden tickets, 90 uniform upgrade chips. It's pretty good. And then if you did buy the Legendary Battle, again, you still get all of the other rewards. The CTP of Insight and stuff, that's not going away. They're just adding extra rewards. You get like 2 million gold, you get some card crafting cubes, which is really clutch. You get 75 awakening crystals, which I am in love with, and you get 50 CCF. So this is great, man. Really, really good stuff. A bunch of free rewards for everybody. Awesome stuff. We have the new Future Pass. We have the new Future Pass icons. You guys can take a look at these for a second here while I grab some water. Really cool stuff there. I honestly think I prefer Falcon. This one's maybe not as strong. I would have preferred, I don't know, maybe like Falcon and Bucky, like doing one of these, or maybe something with explosions, but it's pretty cool. We've got the new uniform collection. We've got, and then we've got some changes here. So they're now sort of giving us more information about guard break and about effects, skill effects, like guard break on skills. So it's going to list here under the skill's name, it's going to list what kind of damage it does, physical damage, energy damage, whatever. And then it's also going to list whether the skill has guard break, which is that sort of spear going through someone's armor. Guard break is really important for PvP. So for those of you that like PvP, you're going to want to pay attention to this. Guard break skills are very valuable in PvP, but it gets more interesting. They finally acknowledged the existence of not only guard break, but get this. Where is it? Where is it? I thought I saw it. There's like super guard break. Here we go. Super guard break. This is Jean Grey's 5th skill. This is Sentry's 5th skill. Some skills just defy the laws of guard break and guard break immunity. So here we go. An explanation for super guard break has been added under the guard break category. Dun dun dun. So I'm very interested to see what this is. But this is good that they're giving us more information, more transparency. And then there's a new battle guide for guard break, super armor, ignore targeting, which is iframe ignore, and counter attack. So again, this is PvP focused, but it's good that they're giving us this information and they're showing you a little tutorial on what that means, because these are pretty complicated concepts. So knowing what these do and knowing how to utilize them and how to counter them yourself when you're fighting people in PvP, it also matters for PvE. You know, some attacks that the boss does will have iframe ignore, will have ignore targeting, like the purple attacks. So knowing that, and knowing that you have to dodge those skills rather than just being able to iframe them is really important. They're also doing a free, they're giving away 5 days for free of the shield special support for new players who make a new account. So this is just for new players. This is not for existing players. And then it's not exactly the same. Like they're not going to get the 300 crystals. It's just sort of like a taste of what the shield support offers to encourage new players to maybe purchase this buff from time to time. There's some other changes here, nothing too interesting or spicy until we get down to here. So they did some changes for Luke Cage's tier 2 passive, not overlapping with the HP buff on cards. So I believe that's going to make him tankier for some players in PvP, which is pretty cool. Luke Cage is going to get stronger. We're also getting a decrease in difficulty for World Boss Cable, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, and Apocalypse. So some of their effects, some of their animations have been changed, improved, delayed. Cable's penetration has been removed, and his burn skill has changed to blind. So Cable's going to be a little bit easier to play if you're having trouble playing Cable at a very high level. I know he can be kind of annoying. He teleports around, yada, yada, yada. He still gets penetration when he fires that machine gun continuously. I think it's that like sort of spray pattern one, because you can see Pierce has been added here, but the Pierce passive has been removed. So he's not going to pierce you on regular attacks, just on that one attack. They're changing some UI information on the hero screen. They finally changed Winter Soldier's Infinity War buff so it doesn't overlap with an ISO set. They added, like I said, they added Ignore Dodge to Winter Soldier's ultimate ability. And then I was saying Taskmaster and Yelena got buffed, so here are the buffs. Yelena is getting on her white uniform, she's getting a 3-second immunity and a 10% heal, which is crazy because that skill has iframe ignore. And then Taskmaster is getting, check this out, 5 seconds of immunity on his 3rd skill. And he's getting accumulation based on damage taken on his 5th skill. And it's 10% attack. So it's almost as good as Luke Cage and Sharon Rogers' accumulation. Yeah, so Taskmaster, from those changes alone, Taskmaster might actually be really good at tier 3. Maybe not meta breaking, but like he'll be more than a support. Yeah. And then a bunch of changes, a bunch of game mode, game error fixes. The important one here, unfortunately, is number 7. The Timeline Battle Challenger list has been changed to no longer list by ranking order. So this was sort of something we saw coming. When Challenger League was introduced in January, we were like, guys, it's so easy to vote for who wins. Like it's so obvious who's in the lead. You can check the points. And then 2 updates ago or 1 update ago, they were like, okay, you can't check the points anymore. And so the players, being as smart as you all are, were like, okay, we can't check the points, but like you guys are still listing them by lead. So we know that Arthur is beating Carl right now. We don't know how much he's beating Carl by. He could be beating Carl by 1 point. Or 1,000 points, but he's beating Carl right now. And now they're finally like, okay, 7 months after introducing the Challenger League cheering list, we are going to randomize the Challenger list. So after the update, you're not going to be able to very quickly and very easily see who is in the lead for Challenger. However, listen, players, I know you guys are geniuses. Someone's gonna figure it out how to, you know, get the most out of this, how to really squeeze this list for the maximum amount of information so that we can keep getting the maximum amount of advanced tokens from the shop, because that's really what it's about, maximizing your gains in this game. So yeah, those are the patch notes. Very interesting stuff, some really cool additions, some really cool quality of life changes, and some interesting uniform buffs. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Hit me up there. I'm also going to be popping off with some future Revolution videos because that game is coming much sooner than expected. So hop on over to the second channel for that, and I'll post some links and do all the good advertising there. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.